Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. All is yours. Do not go seeking for that which you are. Appropriate it, claim it, assume it. Everything depends upon your concept of yourself. That which you do not claim as true of yourself cannot be realized by you. Claim what is yours. You must claim it because everything depends on your concept of yourself. This is coming from Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness. And in chapter 9, Preparing Your Place, Neville Goddard says, all that is yours, do not go seeking for that which you are. Appropriate it, claim it, assume it. Everything depends upon your concept of yourself. That which you do not claim as true of yourself cannot be realized by you. The promise is, whosoever hath, to him it shall be given, and he shall now have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that which he seemeth to have. Hold fast in your imagination to all that is lovely and of good report, for the lovely and the good are essential in your life if it is to be worthwhile. Assume it. You do this by imagining that you already are what you want to be and already have what you want to have. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Be still and know that you are that which you desire to be and that you will never have to search for it. You know, I've heard this so many times, and I think we have a wrong interpretation of what the Bible means. Whoever hath, to him it shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. And I think a lot of people have the idea that that means the rich get richer because they're greedy or evil or selfish. That's not true. The rich get wealthier when they have an abundant mindset, when they look for ways to help the world. My experience has been the more you give, the more you receive. And I know people who give abundantly, who give 10% to their church, not because it's mandatory, required, or they think they're going to burn in hell if they don't, but because they want to serve. They want to help other people. They want to lift others out of poverty. If you're not wealthy, how can you help more people? How can you do a greater service to your church, your charity, the world, your family, and yourself if you're always worried about money and scrimping and saving and complaining about how much things have gone up? Money is simply an exchange of value. People get a brilliant idea and use it to further the development of the world, to make things easier. And they look out, how can I make this a better place? How can I make life easier? And they got ideas to make instant coffee pots, to make can openers, to process food so that it can be stored and not wasted. You get an idea and you take action on it and you develop something that helps others, helps the world, makes life easier for everyone, advances the world. Of course, you're going to be paid for your service, for your idea. You don't have to be concerned that other people are getting wealthy and you're not. Sit quietly and think about, what is it that you have been gifted with? You are talented. You have abilities and talents and skills and a mindset that no one else has. What if you just looked around and instead of complaining about something not being good enough, think of ways you can be made better. And the world will beat a path to your door. You will be financially blessed. You will become wealthy because you solved problems, not just your own problem, but you advanced this world. We would still be riding on horses, perhaps horses and buggies, if Henry Ford hadn't designed the first automobile. Now, maybe people laugh at the old automobile, the antiques, but that was the development of fast ground transportation, getting one from one place to another quickly and easily, until it wasn't, and then things changed. Things will change again as people look at the problems, the shortfalls, the limitations, not with resentment and regret and how terrible things are, but looking for the good, looking for what can work. It is what it is. Instead of focusing on the problem, change the way you look at things. Open your mind. And as Albert Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from the same mindset that created it. You have to allow yourself to get quiet. You have to build a new image. You have to think differently. You have to think from the solution. What would it look like? How would it feel if it was done? If it was easier? When something is accomplished, you can look back and see how it happened. You can look backwards and see the steps that were taken. It takes trial and error. It takes, let's see how this would work. If I changed my thoughts about this, if I did something different, what would happen? Not failing, but learning what didn't work. We wouldn't have buildings lit up with twinkling messages and different colored lights. If Thomas Edison had given up after a couple thousand tries of inventing the light bulb, I heard that it took him 10,000 failures before he created the incandescent light bulb. How many times have you tried something that you're working on and then, oh, I guess it's not going to happen? What if the next attempt worked? You created something that the world needs. Now you have untold riches coming to you. And because you are a beautiful, kind-hearted, generous soul, you can change the world. Use your wealth to make life easier for others. Who would you help? Who would you help? And it doesn't have to be money. You can give your time and talents by singing, by playing music, by painting beautiful pictures, and helping with renovations, whether it's labor, finances, or providing meals for the people who are laboring to make the world a better place. Whether it's your church, your charity, your neighborhood, what can you do to make things easier, make things more beautiful? Look inside for the answer and look from the solution. What would you prefer? What could you do? Neville Goddard tells us, be still and know that you are that which you desire to be, and you will never have to search for it. In spite of your appearance of freedom of action, you obey, as everything else does, the law of assumption. Whatever you may think of the question of free will, the truth is your experiences throughout your life are determined by your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious. An assumption builds a bridge of incidents that lead inevitably to the fulfillment of itself. Let's get comfortable, sit quietly. Take a deep breath in. Allow your body to relax. Have you noticed that when you're stressed and busy and running around and worried about things, more problems come at you faster and faster? You get more and more stressed because that's how the law of attraction works, which is really the law of vibrational energy. When you're stressed and running around, you're not thinking, but you are attracting more problems, more stresses, more things that are going to happen that seem to be causing problems. They're not causing problems. Your mindset is showing you, your outer environment is revealing to you what you're thinking, what you're feeling at a deep subconscious level that you don't even know it's happening. Have you ever had a day where you got out of bed and stubbed your toe and spilt your coffee, got delayed in traffic, everything seemed to go wrong, and you got more and more upset and more crazy things happened? That's because of the vibrational energy you were putting out into the universe. We get what we give. If you're calm, relaxed, open, solutions will come to you. Ideas that you never had before will pop into your head, or you'll run into someone who just tells you a story or says something, and aha, that's the missing puzzle piece of what you were trying to find. When you are still, when you are calm, when you are open to receiving, that's when the solution comes. That's when the answer reveals itself. The law of attraction doesn't work where you write down what you want and think about it for a couple of minutes. Wouldn't that be nice someday? And then go on about your day, building up stress and attracting more problems. You will never attain your beautiful dream goal. It will remain a fantasy unless and until you can get a clear vision of it and feel what it's going to be like. Do you have an idea of something that you truly desire? You can start out with writing a whole page of things that you want, but then go deep. Why do you want it? Why do you want that particular dream house? And instead of saying, I want to be out of debt, what would it look like to be so wealthy that you wouldn't have to worry about paying the rent and buying groceries? You would actually have the time and money freedom to think about that trip that you really want to take. Or you may have all the material things that you want and need. You have a desire to help someone else. What does that look like? Is it building shelter for the homeless? Is it allowing your children and grandchildren to live a comfortable life? And providing for those less fortunate? If you had millions of dollars, who would you be helping? What would you invent? What would it look like for you to have periods of time where you never have to think about the money? Wealthy people aren't looking at, I can't afford that. They're looking to help others, make life easier. I know people who go into restaurants and instead of grumbling about the 18% gratuity or the 10% tip or the bad service, they expect good service and they tip the bill. If the charges for the meal are $200, instead of leaving a $5 or $20 or $40 tip, they give the waitress a $200 tip. How would that change that person's life? It's like an angel coming into their life. What would you do if someone handed you money out of the blue? You received a check, an endowment. Someone just handed you whatever, $200, $1 million. What could you do if you didn't worry about money? Get a clear picture. You already have a big, bold goal, a dream, something that you would love to bring into physical reality for yourself because you know it will change your life, and for others because you're not a selfish, greedy person. With the wealth that you build, you can help so many more people. How many millions would you give? Who would you be helping? How will it make you feel knowing that you left everyone with the impression of increase? Get a clear picture in your mind and just think from that place. Whether you're on a luxury cruise, sitting by your own little cottage with a stream running by, visiting a place that you've always wanted to go, Hawaii, Thailand, Florida, Canada. When you think about something that you really want to do, not thinking of how you're going to get there or how much it's going to cost, but you're there now. You're relaxed. You're eagerly anticipating what's coming next. You might want to close your eyes and just bring to mind what you prefer, what you love, what your heart's desire is. Maybe put your hand on your heart and get clear on the picture, what it looks like, what it feels like. Add some detail. Maybe you have someone you love that you want to share this with. Hold your hand on your heart and go deep into the feeling of already being there. You're enjoying your accomplishments. You're enjoying your holiday, or how you've affected the lives of those now that you've given them millions of dollars and they're building the school, the shelter, whatever it is that's in your imagination. How do you feel now that you're being thanked for your generous giving? When you do this exercise with a deep feeling of who you are blessing, how will you feel once you can really do what you want to do to help others? You might find yourself crying because you are so emotionally involved with what you can do for this world. How does it feel now that you're there? When you go there in your mind, and you feel it so deeply in your heart, every cell of your being starts to vibrate and resonate with that picture. The law of attraction works to have whatever is vibrating in a similar frequency is drawn to you to fulfill that picture, whether it's resources, people, ideas, a plan. It all comes together when you think from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, as Wayne Dyer would say. How does it feel now that you've accomplished that deep desire? If you have a vision or a new picture that has come into your mind, if you have a pen and paper in front of you, or if you're journaling, take the time to write it out in the present tense. You should have chills, maybe you're crying, you're so emotionally involved. That's how you will get ideas and resources to fulfill the picture. You don't have to worry about the how. The universe will take care of it. The law of vibration says that everything that you are in harmony with, you attract to you. But it's not instantaneous. It's going to take building up some momentum. So there will still be some residue from the past that you will carry with you into the day and into the future. But the more you focus on ease and flow and knowing that what's meant for you is yours, assume it. Imagine that you already are what you want to be and you already have what you want to have. Because, as James Allen says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Neville Goddard goes on to say, man believes the future to be the natural development of the past, but the law of assumption clearly shows this is not the case. Your assumption places you psychologically where you are not physically. Then your senses pull you back from where you were psychologically to where you are physically. It is these psychological forward motions that produce your physical forward motions in time. Precognition permeates all the scriptures of the world. In John 14, 2, 3, and 29, the Bible says, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And now I have told you before it came to pass, that when it is come to pass, you might believe. The I in this quotation is your imagination, which goes into the future, into one of the many mansions. Mansion is the state desired. Telling of an event before it occurs physically is simply feeling yourself into the state desired until it has the tone of reality. You go and prepare a place for yourself by imagining yourself into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Then you speed from this state of the wish fulfilled where you have not yet been physically, back to where you were physically a moment ago. Then with an irresistible forward movement, you move across a series of events to the physical realization of your wish, that where you have been in imagination, there you will be in the flesh also. Bible quote from Ecclesiastic says, unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. John 17:10 says, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine. Revelation says, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. All is yours. Appropriate it, claim it, assume it. Everything depends upon your concept of yourself. That which you do not claim as true of yourself cannot be realized by you. You must create the picture in your mind, the ideal. How would you be living if everything was possible? You are co-creating your life with the Creator. Everything that you believe is true for you. What is it that you desire? Get emotionally involved with it. See the picture so clearly and so often in your mind that you're giving direction to the universe, and what is yours must come into physical reality. Believe it, and then you will see it. Believe it in your mind, have a mental picture, become it psychologically, get into that state of being, and watch how your life changes. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.